Okay, we'll get started here in just a moment. You guys have lined up in chat for queued up for questions. We'll start with an opening comment and then go for questions.
Well, I think first of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't say I kind of miss you guys. I mean, that's I'm not. I guess I'm speaking from my heart. I miss seeing you guys in this room, especially after a win. After a loss, but kind of a game. I felt like we got off to a pretty solid start, and we just kept. I thought our defensive presence early was really good, and we challenged everything. We had a hand in their face. I thought our stunts and our rotations were really good. That this is the defending conference champion with everybody back. You know what you're getting. They're as sound and solid as you could be. I thought offensively, we got some really good looks that didn't go in. Otherwise, Io might have had 15 assists, but I think that other than some casual or careless turnovers in the first half, I was really pleased with what we did on that end. I thought we established Kofi, and both those two young men, Kofi and Io, had great nights as the stats show. But when you start talking about Io and the history of this program and all the great players and only 3 triple doubles, and the last one was 2001, 20 years ago. Yikes! You're pretty elite company. So, and not only was it a triple double, but both of them were so efficient. And again, I thought we handled we handled them at the 3-point line, which was a concern coming in. And the 40% of their baskets are from the 3. And then I was really proud of our guards. I thought they did a nice job of really trying to negate post-ups with Ford and with Wall. So all in all, very pleased, very happy. And now we sit and wait, and we'll see what comes our way from the league office to find out who our next opponent is.
All right, we'll start at Tyler Cunningham, and then we'll start down the line for Shannon and then Jeremy. Go ahead.
Coach, last season, it was the Wisconsin game where your ball screen offense really kind of started to blossom. Is there something, and today, obviously, Iowa and Kofi were dominant, and you got into the 70s again. Is there something about that matchup that just works in your favor from an offensive standpoint?
I don't know about that. I think it's just we made some right reads, and it was one of those where Trent's been on an unbelievable heater and getting good looks, and obviously you look at DeMonte and Jacob, what they're doing from the 3-point line. It creates some space, and you've got to pick and choose, and we weren't as good from the 3 tonight as we have been, but that sure opened things up for Kofi and Io getting downhill.
And then just a quick follow-up regarding your last comment about the Michigan game being postponed. So how do you approach the next 10 days until your next scheduled game?
Well, I have not done this in February before, so we'll meet tomorrow, and we'll put this, what we call put this one to bed. We'll go over the film of this, talk about our positives and negatives. We'll shoot free throws, and then we'll basically have a day off for our guys after that, and then we'll reconvene and see what and who is next, and get ready to go on Monday. And if we don't know anybody, we'll practice and work on ourselves and getting better that way.
Okay, we'll go Shannon Ryan, and then Joey Wagner, and then Jeremy. Go ahead, Shannon.
Okay, I think Joey was ahead of me.
It may be, but go ahead.
Should I just go?
Yes, go Shannon. Thanks.
Okay. So yeah, I think with Kofi and Io, everyone saw, envisioned this potential when, it was when Kofi decided, when, we knew what he was kind of made of. And I'm just wondering if is this what you envisioned for kind of the height of what they could do together? And also if you could just share how you've seen them work together on their chemistry and coming together, not just being 2 separately individually good players.
Well, to your first question, yes. and you never know how your best laid plans sometimes work out. But we knew we had two young men who were very, very high character and had a great desire to work and get better. So that's a great starting point. And then along with our coaches and our strength coach and everybody involved in our program, they've put the work in and helped them. I think both of them are not just great friends, but I think they're both very, very intelligent in terms of understanding that they help each other. And Io's a better player because he's got Kofi. Kofi's a better player because Io's there. Basketball takes five, and when you got two guys like that play that well together, it makes it fun and easier for everybody else.
Okay, then we'll go move on to Joey and then Jeremy. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Brad. Io said he kind of called his own triple-double before the game. Did he let you in on that, or what does that say about a kid to have the confidence to say it and the skill to execute it?
Well, that's we've been talking for 2 days about our guards rebounding, and Orlando Antigua has been all over him about having one of those nights, and we knew we know what he's capable of doing on the glass, and when he rebounds, it creates tempo for us. And you've got to have help, obviously, in the assist department. You got to have guys make shots and create opportunities. But when you start thinking about scoring 18 points and then having 12 assists, yikes! I mean, that's accounting for a lot. And I was a really good player, and the rebound side of it shows how dialed in he was.
When did you have a sense in the game that he was getting close to that? Did someone, stat guy come up and brief you? How did you know?
No, I found out after the game. You guys know I'm not a, sometimes somebody will say something, but Derek Burson was the first one to tell me when I walked off the floor.
Thanks, Brad.
Go ahead, Jared.
Hey, Brad, Kofi during conference play is averaging 18 points and 11 rebounds, and that's a big leap of what he was doing in non-conference play. How has he improved most during this season?
Mentally. We haven't seen the inconsistencies. His motor has been really, really good. His confidence has probably never been higher. And I think that, we forget he's a sophomore and relatively inexperienced in the game and inexperienced at playing at the collegiate level. Now he's gaining confidence that he's seen a lot and just kind of about everything people could throw at him. But I think he's also, his teammates have a lot of confidence in him and know where to get him the ball, how to get him the ball. So I think it's him, but it's also as a collective unit, our team is doing a great job finding him.
Io talked a little bit about how, when you get on him, he takes it and gets better. Kofi does the same thing. What do you hope Andre learns from that tough stretch tonight?
Yeah, it's all part of the curve. It's all part of the road to success. And and I talk about all the time. People, Io made a mistake and showed up late to a shoot around, and I didn't play him in the East Tennessee State game as a freshman. Not even got it second, and now Io's out here 2 hours before games. He doesn't have to worry about and shoot arounds, and he's never late. And it's just it's a growth, and he made some plays that I'll be honest, I don't mind offensively. I was upset with him for letting Trice get going on a couple buckets, but man, I know one thing. That's an ultra competitive kid who's very, very smart. The lesson will be learned, and we're going to see a really, really good Andre Curbelo in our next game.
Thanks, Brad.
Okay, Derek Piper, you're up. Gavin Good on deck. Go ahead, Derek.
Hey, Coach. Io mentioned this being February, the right time to peak. You guys did something similar here last year. Have you felt the right kind of urgency around this team, knowing that there's 4 weeks left of the regular season, and this is the time to do it?
I think there's been a focus. I think we're starting to talk about certain things. I think we're starting to talk about the fun of competing, and it's not necessarily just trying to win a championship or that. Those are the obvious things, but it's the fun of being in these moments, and the camaraderie that's built, and the relationships that happen uh, when you're going through a grind and something really special. And so we're starting to talk about a lot about those things, but you can't put your uh, you can't let your foot off the gas. That's for sure. Or in this league, somebody's gonna smack you.
I know you've always said you have higher expectations for Kofi than he does himself, but does he do anything still at this point that amazes you, or you kind of take a step back and are impressed?
I missed the first part of that. Was that Io?
Kofi,
Can you say that? Ask the question again, Derek.
I know you've said that you have higher expectations for Kofi than he has for himself. Anything that you see out of him that still impresses you or wows you?
Um, somebody said what, 8 dunks today? I'd like about 15 in a game. Then I'll be impressed. I mean, again, he's in diapers when it comes to his continued growth and his infancy of basketball. And it's fun, man. And I'm having a blast coaching him because he's fun to challenge. He's a great listener. He's a great kid. He's got an unbelievable competitive desire. He's still got a long way to go, and he's becoming dominant, and that's fun to see.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, we'll go to Gavin and then Matt Stevens and Scott Ritchie. Go ahead, Gavin.
Brad, do you ever pause to consider that you're probably coaching two of the most special players in program history at the same time?
I'll probably do that at the end of the year. I mean, I know they're good. And don't get me wrong. I mean, that's a tribute to our staff and our program and the University of Illinois for being able to lure guys like that to our program. But it's also those guys working, and I'm appreciative for how good they are. There's no doubt. I've been blessed to be around a lot of really good ones, and I know how good they are. But it's fun because they're so dialed in to the University of Illinois. They're so dialed into our program and helping make it great. And along the way, uh, they're doing a lot of great things for themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys just pretty comfortably beat, a really experienced, talented team. In the way you guys are playing so well right now, are you at all concerned about, potentially a longer than expected layoff here between games?
No, because I don't think we'll have one. I just think that there's a lot going on in the league office. There's a lot of decisions, and I got to think that we're going to have a game here sooner than later.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, Matt Stevens and Scott Ritchie. Go ahead, Matt.
Brad, what went into the defensive game plan on Potter? It just seemed like he was frustrated and was held under double digits for only the 4th time this year. And it just seems like Kofi presents a lot of problems for him, but it also seemed like the other 4 guys on the floor recognize what he can do offensively as well.
Well, Potter hurt us last year. If you'll recall in the game in Madison, he was terrific. And we know he's an elite shooter. He's a guy that likes to shoot him. He's got about 75% of his ball screens are pops. Well, he doesn't roll. They stress you because Trice is one of the elite guards in the country in mid-range pull-ups off ball screens. And he does a great job of engaging Kofi and Georgie, and then you've got to get back to him. Maybe a tough shooting night. I'm sure it'll be a different story in Madison. I hope not. But Kofi does a good job, and he's a pretty imposing guy at 7 foot, 300 pounds when he closes out.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.
Okay, Scott Ritchie and then Alessandra on deck.
Hey, Brad, Kofi told us that, Trace dunking on him on Tuesday night sort of sparked him a little bit today. Just what's it taken to get him to maybe the mindset where trying to dunk everything is okay?
I think there's a little bit of we see that every day in practice. I mean, whether it's Georgie, whether it's Jermaine, whether it's Brandon Lee, Ben, it doesn't matter. I mean, Kofi just annihilates all those guys in practice. And I asked Brandon Lee yesterday, I said, why can't you just stop him? And he gives me the response. He goes, Coach, he's 7 foot, 300 pounds, and he's the strongest human being I've ever seen. And I think Kofi is getting to the point where he feels comfortable doing that in games, and in terms of not being afraid that he might commit a foul or he might, um, I don't know, just kind of be in that bull in the china closet mentality. And I think he's just getting to that point. And, he saw Trace dunk on his head. So, Kofi got him back a little bit and returned it. And I think that's something that he understands he can now do, because Trace Jackson Davis is one of the best defenders in our league.
Did you get any sense from Io maybe Wednesday through Friday that he felt like he needed to make up for, Tuesday's struggles a little bit?
I felt pretty good about the likelihood that we were going to see a pretty good Io DeSumo. There's not many times Io's going to have 2 bad games or subpar games, and it wasn't that he was subpar. It was that he was taken out of it. His first foul out. But I also know that a lot of times I judge our practices on how Io is, and Io works his tail off all the time. I'm not saying good, but he's got another level that he can get to that most people can't, and we saw that last 2 days.
Thank you.
Okay, Alessandra, and then Brett Behrens and John Supini in the hole.
Hi, Coach. How important or I guess special is it for the players who aren't getting many minutes to watch and learn from Io and Kofi, especially from today with their performance?
No better teacher. No better teacher. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing any of our coaches can do. When you get to go against that every day and you get to compete, and you put Trent and those guys in, some guys can't do things physically that they can do, but it's also the mental stuff and the scouting report stuff that goes with it. And that's invaluable. That's the greatest teacher there is. And when you can actually watch really good players do it firsthand, see how they attack it, see how it works for them, man, that's fun to see.
Okay, Brett Behrens and then John Supini.
Brad, do you remember the last player you coached with a triple-double?
Michael Beasley. I'm sure. No. I'm sorry. Thomas Walkup. Thomas Walkup had one at Incarnate Word back in the day.
Okay. How comfortable do you feel saying that Iowa will have a place, in the Raptors here at some point at State Farm Center?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I would think it would be very hard to deny his career and what it all, how it's all played out. I know there's not many people that could be very more deserving of that. So, yeah, I feel pretty good that number 11 will be up there somewhere.
Thanks.
Okay, John Supini, and then go ahead, John.
Hey, Coach. It seems like you're really getting some contributions at the 4 with the ability to go big, go small there. Can you just talk about the flexibility there and how that's kind of helped you getting going in this stretch where you're playing some really good games?
Yeah, DeMonte and Jacob both give us tremendous flexibility because they can slide to the 3. And what it's allowed us to do is play a little bit bigger sometimes with Coleman and Georgie. And we've got to watch Georgie a little bit because he's also playing a lot at the 5 when Kofi's out. And so that versatility, I think you saw a lineup out there today. I think I had Coleman and DeMonte and Georgie out there, and that's a lineup again that's versatile. And you've got a guy shooting 60% from the 3 and DeMonte. Coleman's been great in practice, and I like the matchups today with him and Ford, and so it gives us a lot of versatility, and guys are sliding nicely into their roles.
And roles, how have they, I guess, kind of developed and solidified over the last couple of weeks?
guys, that's why I work so hard at developing a bench, because without that and those, who's fits and does what. I mean, I study it a lot. I worry about it a lot. You can't get great role definition until you identify all those things. Who's your starters? Who's great? Who's not? What lineups work? What lineups don't? And yeah, we're getting comfortable. We should. It's February, and those are some of the challenges of a season to this point, is figuring all that out. So hopefully we are playing our best as we continue down the stretch.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, we'll go Rob McCullough and then Alec. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, Brad, it was last year you ended a 10-year losing streak at the Cole. The other night, 10-year losing streak at Bloomington. 10-year losing streak today against Wisconsin at home. Which are the most important of those three, and what else do you have on the table for Illini fans?
I don't know. Who's our next game? I don't. Those are great things to have broken. I know that, and come to an end. And I don't put one over the other. This league is so good, and everything is so hard. And I want to walk into the locker room after every game and Rob, I want to celebrate them like heck, because I know how hard winning is. I sure don't ever want to get to a point we take that for granted. And it's a sign of what this coaching staff has done and this administration and in terms of helping us get this thing going where we can go snap some of those long streaks, because this program deserves that.
Okay, and then we'll finish up with Alec. Go ahead, Alec.
Yeah, Coach, I think it was in the second half, maybe late in the first half. Kofi hit about a 13, 14-foot jump shot. I guess just kind of a floater. Have you seen him do that in practice? He tried the same thing at the end of the Indiana game. Is that part of his game or something you're trying to expand within his game?
Yeah, every day. O has him shoot jump shots every day, not just those threes. And, but again, when you've got something that is really, really dominant, which he is in the paint and shooting 70, shooting from the field, it's a good clip. You want to take advantage of that. But Kofi has those abilities. We work on it daily with him. He's got great touch. He feels comfortable. That's why we were shocked when he missed the one at Indiana. He never misses that shot at practice. So yeah, he's got a lot of room to grow yet.
And then one quick follow-up. I feel like Georgie and Kofi have really started to mesh defensively when they're on the floor at the same time at the 4 and the 5. Do you kind of see that same thing over the last 2 games with those two?
Been a lot longer than 2 games. Those guys have been really good. Georgie's, some of our best defensive lineups are with G at the 4 and Kofi at the 5, and it's something that I like, and it's something that we continue to grow with on the offensive side. And yet, they give us great. Georgie gives us a different look. Kofi's more that wall that is hard to score through. Georgie gives us that guy who can 3/4 in front and moves his feet great and makes touches hard, and that's something that is very unique. So it's a good yin and yang to have with your 2 guys on the interior.
Okay, Joey, we got your question in a while ago, didn't we, Joey?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right, that'll wrap things up today. Thank you, everybody.
Miss you guys.
Thanks, Brad.